Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Twin Flame story week by week. My Twin Flame vlog here. I'm here with my Grogu tumbler and I'm actually here with Grogu on my right shoulder to your left, and I'm not drinking green tea today. I'm not drinking green tea because I've been feeling a little wired. Green tea does have caffeine. I get plenty of caffeine during the day. I'm like a big coffee drinker, but I'm with Vata tea. So if you don't know what Vata is, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, I wrote this book in 2014, picked up by New World Library in 2015, The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda, an easy guide to an Ayurvedic healthy lifestyle rather. I mixed it up because in 2014, when I published it, the title was slightly different. And then when New World Library picked it up, they changed the title. So it's now called The Wheel of Healing with Ayurveda. Do check this book out. But I am a primarily Vata type, if you know about Ayurveda. Vata is my primary dosha, and then Pitta is the secondary dosha. My Vata has been pretty out of balance lately. So I'm going to take a sip of Vata tea. Oh God, that's hot. And in case you're wondering, it actually helps to balance the Vata dosha. So let's get started with my Twin Flame story week by week. We're going to talk about a few things today. I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. Then it came to me in the shower what I actually wanted to talk to you guys about. So let's get started. But I want to start with some housekeeping. The housekeeping is, I've gotten some comments lately that some people out there in YouTube land, some viewers, are not liking the mid ads. So the ads that are coming in the middle of the video. And if you have not yet noticed, YouTube recently, qualified me for super thanks. And so on each video now, you'll see a thanks button. You can press on the thanks button and you could leave a tip. And if you leave a tip, then I believe your comment will be highlighted so that I see it first. And I think you can even get confetti on the video. There's some other functions that you can get with a super thanks. If you see the jump cuts in this video, I apologize. I'm coughing a lot today. I think it's just the pollen in the air. There's a lot of seasonal allergies going around, and I do get seasonal allergies in California. Since I moved here, I get seasonal allergies. So I'm trying my best here to not cough throughout this video, but I'm going to cut that out. So if you see jump cuts, that's why. It's because I was coughing. So there's super thanks button on each of the videos. What I'm gonna propose to you guys out there, that since YouTube is my main source of income, meaning this is my job, this is my full-time job. YouTube is actually my full-time job, in case you didn't know. So I do count on ad revenue for living. So I'm not going to take out mid-roll ads. However, that being said, now that the super thanks button is on each video, if I get tips or super thanks of more than $10 in a day for a particular video, I will eliminate the mid-roll ads for a week. Now, this might not affect you if you're the one leaving the super thanks tip, unless if you want to rewatch the video, but it's like a pay it forward system. So if enough of you feel compelled to leave a super thanks on a particular video and, it accumulates to more than $10 in donations, $10 US in donations in one day, then I will check mark that box to take out mid-roll ads for an entire week for that particular video, so that the people viewing it for the upcoming week will not have mid-roll ads. So I just wanted to throw that around as kind of an incentive for you to, if you don't have YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, whatever they're calling it now, then that is one way that we can get rid of mid-roll ads in certain videos. Again, I count on AdSense revenue for my life. So that's not going to go away anytime soon. So we're going to try something different with this super thanks. So what did I want to talk to you about? So guess what? If you're new, subscribe below, click on the bell, scroll to all for all notifications. Thank you for smashing the like button because, lets YouTube know other people can check out my video. Do leave a comment in the comment section below. Again, helps others to know where this video is, where to find it, and all that jazz. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about was my greatest lesson so far on my twin flame journey. What is the greatest lesson that I can be thankful for on my twin flame journey? So to date, I would say that my greatest lesson that I've learned on my twin flame journey is to not need a relationship, a romantic relationship. That's what I'm speaking of. To not need a romantic relationship, but to want a romantic relationship versus needing a romantic relationship. So let's unpack this for me. Let's unpack this. If you're listening to this, then maybe you, as well as me, have been in continuous romantic relationships without much of a break throughout your life. As long as I can remember, I have been in some form of a romantic relationship up until 2018 to 2019. So I always craved romantic relationships. I felt more comfortable in a relationship. I did not like being single. I did not like the process of dating. And I think there were a lot of wounds within me that caused me to seek out being in a relationship full time. So I was never one of those people out there being single, looking toward people with relationships and going, oh, I really want that. It was something I always had. So I was never really in the single category, nor was I in that category of wanting a relationship because I already was in one. That was always the case. And so it often, when I got my divorce, for example, I wasn't even fully divorced. I was separated, legally separated. And I think it was within 3 months, I was in another long-term relationship for about 4 years. Coming out of that relationship, I was single for about 6 months. And that was really the longest time I had ever been single at that point. And then I was in another relationship for about 5.5 to 6 years. Prior to my marriage, I was in relationships from about the age of 15. And even before that, in middle school, I was in a really long-term relationship in middle school, believe it or not. So I was always jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship. And because of that, and because I didn't really take the time to take a look at myself, I often was in a series of unhealthy relationships, which I do talk about a lot about. And you guys are probably sick of hearing about my past relationships, but I'm not going to elaborate on that. Being in all these relationships, as I mentioned, did not give me a lot of time to be alone. And it didn't give me a lot of time to do some silent reflection on what I really wanted in relationship, and B, what I wanted as a person, like how I wanted to act, react, how I wanted to be in a relationship. I hadn't given it much thought. I really embodied the meaning, love conquers all. And I felt like love could conquer all, and that if you loved a person enough, that all the problems would go away. And we all know, being mature individuals that we are, is that's definitely not the case. Love is, yes, very necessary, but it does not make all the problems go away. You still have to work through communication issues, problems, personality differences of opinion. You have to still come. Okay, Siri. You still, my goodness, Siri thinks I'm talking to it or her.
Is there something else I can help with?
No, thank you, Siri.
Okay.
So where was I? I'm totally lost now because Siri was a big distraction to me. So I thought, love conquers all, and it doesn't. And what I was saying is you still need to come to compromise, right? So when you have two individuals coming from different backgrounds, different education levels, whatever it may be, there's still the need to compromise and mesh and mold the two personalities together so that they can work adequately together to be in a relationship together. So a lot of learning needed there. And when I met my twin flame in third quarter, I guess, of 2018, I was kind of sort of still in a relationship, even though it was long distance. We were 3,000 miles away, but we still hadn't really called it. We knew we were going to be separate. We knew that it probably wouldn't work. We knew that, it was like either he was to move to the West Coast to be with me or it just wasn't happening. It wasn't working. So again, I started seeing my twin flame, of course, still kind of sort of being in this relationship or not having called it quits completely. And we all know that story of what happened with my twin flame. But it was after that in 2019 that even the previous relationship tried to come back to me, and I was pining for my twin flame and feeling very, very, very uncomfortable in my body, feeling uncomfortable in my mind being single or being without a relationship. It was so incredibly uncomfortable. And I really had to dig deep and figure out why I had this level of discomfort. Now, of course, there were a lot of things in me, this notion of codependency, which I really don't like to say, but it's true. There was this huge notion of like I said, that needing to be with someone versus wanting to be with someone. You can want and need to be with someone, or you can just want to be with someone. And the whole process from 2018 through today, which is, I'm recording this in May of 2022, the whole process in the last 4 years, 3.5 years really, is having to learn how to be single. And I think that's a movie. Isn't that a movie title? Learning how to be single. But not like that movie. Okay. Not at all like that movie. So it was this process of not only learning how to be single, learning how not to be codependent, learning to feel comfortable in my own skin if I'm not in a relationship, learning to feel into my own identity outside of a relationship, and also to not want a relationship for the wrong reasons that look like codependency, that look like needing a relationship. I had to get over my fears of being alone. And not that I was fearful of being alone. Like, I can be in a room alone. I can be in places alone. Not a problem. I'm a writer. I'm an introvert. Like, no issues with that. But when I say alone, I mean outside of a relationship. So I really had to get comfortable with the notion of what it meant to be outside of a relationship. And it has been super challenging for me to embrace this notion, because for me personally, this might be you, I don't know, like everyone has their reasons. For me personally, I kind of felt like, oh, if I am alone, i.e., like outside of a relationship, it means that I'm a loser, right? So those are the words we repeat to ourselves. Oh, it means that I am not wanted. Again, words that we repeat to ourselves. It means that I'm not good enough, pretty enough, wanted enough, like loved enough. And it just goes back to all those cultural things that you're brought up with that are kind of seen in different places. So whether it's through romantic comedies or sitcoms or things your parents said to you or your friends have said to you, there are just so many different reasons. And I remember being a kid, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this online, but I remember being a kid and my parents got divorced when I was very young. I was 4 or 5, I think. I must have been like 4.5 on the cusp of 5 because my sister was a year and a half and we're 3 years apart. So I must have been just about 5 or maybe 4.5. And my mom started dating pretty much right. My mom was very young when she got divorced. So she started dating right away. I remember my mom constantly saying to me, pray that your mom gets a boyfriend. Pray that your mom finds a nice man. Pray that your mom finds a nice man with a dental plan. And so just like hearing that phrase over and over and over and over again when I was very young and super impressionable, I guess it programmed my mind in a way that said, you have to have a man in order to feel good about yourself. You have to have a man in order to feel complete about yourself. You have to pray that you get a man in order to be somebody, if you will. And so I always had this notion that I had to have somebody, that I had to have a boyfriend, that I had to have someone long term. And so undoing that programming is something that I've been through in the past 3.5 years. And it still isn't easy. It still is not easy to think, oh, I'm single. I need to be okay with it and not feel like I'm on the outside somewhere, like missing out on something, and that's the way I have continually felt in these past 3.5 years, even though I have dated people, even though in 2021, I was in a mini relationship. I wouldn't consider it to be a relationship. The other person considered it to be a relationship. It was dating, because honestly, for me, a relationship grows and develops over time. And this kind of was like a flat line, meaning it was just dating. We were just dating. There was no growth in it whatsoever. It was just very flatlined. So I'm not saying that I've been on the outside this whole time, looking in, hoping and praying to be in a relationship, but it's been a difficult time consciously making the choice to not just be with somebody to be with somebody, not just be in a relationship to be in a relationship, but to mindfully select, mindfully choose something that is going to be meaningful, mindfully choose to be single and not date anybody so that I can be more focused on myself, and mindfully choose the right reasons for being in a relationship and not the wrong reasons for being in a relationship. And of course, the wrong reasons I already outlined here. So I would be curious to know, for you on your personal twin flame journey, what is your biggest lesson that you are the most grateful for? It doesn't have to be this one, obviously. This is my biggest lesson that I'm grateful for. But what is your biggest lesson that you are absolutely grateful for on this twin flame journey that you probably would not have learned had it not been for encountering your twin flame or meeting your twin flame. What is the biggest lesson that you are the most grateful for? And then put it in the comment section below, because I would like to know. This is a nice conversation that we have going with each other. So I hope you enjoyed this twin flame. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for subscribing to my channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a bootcamp or a meditation course. You can also join my group coaching. The link is below. And I will see you in the next video.